get to the reason why we chose to do a teen center. Monroe County has 6,300 teens, and which makes up a very large generational cohort, and they are developmentally different from adults and from children, and we felt like we were missing them. And we do children's programming excellently. We have kids in there, as I said, we have 53,000 families that came to our Learn Play Space last year. We know we get them. We know we do it well. We have raving comments on our children's programs. And we have a lot of adults who come to the library, but we were missing that piece in between. And the reality of that is that there are many ways in which we lose people over the long term. Sometimes we never get them back. And so they lose track of all of those programming things and or services that we offer to everyone. Even though adults often feel that the library is a great contribution to the community, they don't always take advantage of it. So we wanted to ensure that we were keeping teens and that we were approaching them in a pedagogical way that was appropriate, because they're learning differently than what the children are and what adults may or have. So we needed a new approach to both our space and our programming to make those changes happen. And we had groups of library staff and our library board, in fact, who were very interested in this, visit several libraries with digital creativity initiatives in our teen spaces. And I'm going to give you some examples of some of those spaces. Much of this you can see online as well. But a couple of them have been real leaders in the development of those spaces. And one of them is called U Media, which is at the Chicago Public Library. And they had an IMLS grant. It's a museum and library services grant, and they worked for several years to build this program that is started downtown in their library site, central library site, and to some level it was to get kids off the street in the library, and it worked phenomenally well. And these kids are in the library space. It is for them only. You can't go in if you're not between the ages of 12 and 18. And they have not only a small book collection and magazines, but they have digital technology. They have large screen monitors. They have an art center. They have a studio, a sound studio. They have an area where you can play games, both video and or board games. They have places where you can just sit and hang out. They have been the model for many of the teen spaces that have followed, because it has been such a success. Our team from Monroe County also visited Blue Island Public Library, Skokie, Illinois Public Library, Gail Borden, which is in Elgin, Illinois, and other Illinois public libraries, all who had some version of this digital creativity space. Also, the Allen County, Indiana Public Library has a version. And then we just spent a lot of time doing research, trying to find out more about the reasons behind the best practices and what some specific examples were. One of the Chicago Public Library based their design on Mizuko Ito's book, Hanging Out, Messing Around, and Geeking Out, Kids Living and Learning with New Media. And that has been the model for many teen spaces, including our own. This is a report on the research of young people in the digital environment and how it impacts their lives. I'm going to read to you what his three genres of participation are. Hanging Out, which is a friendship-driven genre in which young people spend their casual social time with one another. Through Facebook and text messaging, for example, they share music, photos, report news, play games, and arrange